Hey, good evening, everybody. It's a wonderful Thursday evening, isn't it? Especially if you own an amazing fantasy copy at 9.6, right? So instant millionaires out there in the comic collecting world. Same within in the art world too, of course. All of us are experiencing the wonderful uptick in the I guess the overall value of our collections and the general value of the entire hobby on a daily basis. It's pretty exciting. So yes, good evening, everyone. And it's nice to see everybody in the chat early. And, I feel like I haven't been on in such a long time. I'm sure you guys are feeling the same way. We have a holiday weekend. We take Sunday off. We ended up not having a show on Monday. We did the show with Kavi yesterday, but then take Wednesday off too. So yeah, I've had a lot more time to do things that I normally wouldn't be doing. So like answering emails and things. So a lot of people got emailed today that I had owed emails to for about, I don't know, probably 3 weeks. So I'm getting there. I'm getting caught up slowly but surely. So let's see. I see, everybody's in there. Red Jack, Alfredo, Harry, Michael, Jeff. Jeff, thank you for the reply email today. I'll get back to you probably later this evening or tonight. But it's good to be back in front of everybody. And sorry, 3.6 million. Exactly. That's a lot of reasons to get back into comics, isn't it? So I thought that was pretty remarkable. The auction yesterday for Heritage was kind of, as far as the art went, was pretty standard. I mean, as far as what I was expecting, the sale prices on most of that stuff. So I'll be curious to see how the rest of the week, weekend stuff with the signature auction plays out. It would be nice to see prices leveling off, but you never know, right? I think Sunday is going to be interesting because that's obviously the Comic Art Con in New Jersey. And there's going to be a lot of buyers that are either set up or visiting that show. And I think they have about 580 auctions ending on Sunday throughout the day. I think it's going to take probably 5 or 6 hours to do that. And I think they start at noon or 1 or something around, somewhere around in there. But certainly the whole time the comic art show is going on, it's going to be, you're going to hear people crying and cheering probably as they win or lose on their auctions that day. I think that'd be a lot of fun. I'm not going to be there, but I think Dan Poddick and a few other guys from the chat are going to be there. I imagine Dino might be showing up, and I've already got a few people saying that they're going to shoot some video, and we'll have some interesting clips, I hope, from their show on Sunday. So yes, better not use that hotel. Anyway, yes, a lot of people have a lot of auctions that they're looking at on Sunday. Even I have a couple, believe it or not. So, and it's been a while since I've bid on anything at a Heritage or Comic Link auction. So this is one of the first times in a long time. Jason, you'll be there. Cool. You should take a few photos too. You never know if other people's don't work out. I can always use yours as well in the show next week. And but yeah, so a fun week for me. I mean, I actually took some time off on Labor Day, did some yard work, and essentially just tried to relax a little bit. And like I said, get caught up on some things around here. I wrapped up a few projects that had been lingering for a very long time, and so that was good. And I've also been following up on some upcoming shows that we've got, because it's required a bit of wrangling and things that normally I wouldn't have time to do, but I took the time to do that. And I never thought I would do this, but since we're so close to selling that miniature golf course, I was actually over there today and played a round of golf, or almost a whole round of golf, with the kids. And so I'm going to show you how I mowed the greens. Here you go, Mikhail. I am going to show you a video of me not getting a hole-in-one on the first hole at my golf course. So let's see here. I just uploaded it because I finally got my daughter to send it to me. So this is me on hole 1 at Chip's Clubhouse, not getting a hole-in-one. Sweating on that one. I can see the bead running down Mom's head. Okay. Yeah, see, they were sweating it. I missed the cup by about a half an inch. So there you have it. And we didn't keep score, so no telling who won that round. But it was fun. I think that was the second time I was able to actually play a round of golf there this year. So we'll see. But we are on track to actually get rid of it, I think, by the end of October. So we'll see. I've got 3 people interested now. So I think it's inevitable. It cannot not sell. So I think that'll be interesting to finally have that off of my agenda every year. So it'll be very, and it was close, Mr. Easy Go Lucky. I didn't swear or anything. They were all sweating it though, like you could tell. They thought it was going in. It was close. Finally got to see it. Yeah, I took some other pictures too, but we don't need to see all that. I definitely will film something there if the sale goes through, so that I have something for my long-term memory of owning that place. I'll probably, wear the Hulk shirt or maybe the Loki outfit, play around the golf with some of the locals. It'll be a good time. There you go. I'm flying out for a last round of golf. Hey, I'll tell you what, Mikhail, I actually can get you a Chips shirt. I saw that you had, you once said you wanted a Chips Clubhouse shirt. And as it turned out, I had a customer of the golf course email me, and they said, that their grandson had got their first hole-in-one like the week before, and they wanted to know if they could buy a T-shirt to give them as a gift, for their 6-year-old. And we don't sell tchotchkes at Chips. It's just golf. So I actually set up a Chips Clubhouse T-shirt over in that T Public store. So yeah, if you want one, go pick one out, Mikhail, and I'll send you one. But the link's in the show description on YouTube to get over to the T Public store. So there is actually a logo shirt there. So you just pick out the T-shirt style you want, whether it's a baseball tee or just a regular short sleeve tee, and send me an email, and I will I'll get one out to you right away. So let's see. So what else is going on other than that? Actually, since I'm talking to Mikhail right now, I can address. There was an email Mikhail sent me a couple weeks ago that I never replied to. It was related to a CAF question that I couldn't really answer, since I wasn't quite sure what the issue was that he was asking me about, and it was related to those of you who actually choose to order items in your CAF gallery. So, and I don't think I had any CAF galleries that were ordered by my own preference, as far as, because typically a CAF gallery orders by new, always, right? But as you can go in and actually change the order of it to something you want, and that's really helpful when you have a complete issue or you're filling out a complete issue, so you can put it, from 1 to 21 or whatnot. And Mikhail had asked me about putting the artwork at the bottom of the list, because like if you already numbered everything 1 to 20 and you're adding in the 21st piece, but it happens to be page 10, the way Maureen wrote the code was she actually put the art at the beginning of the list, because we always felt like putting it at the top of the list was the right place to put it, so that you could then go in and change it and move it where you wanted. So it was a very more complicated question than I was expecting. So all I can tell you, Mikhail, is that Maureen did it. She had a very reasonable way or reason for wanting to do things that way. But I'm trying to talk her out of it. I actually think rather than putting it at the end of the list, it's actually better to put it at the beginning of the list. Child's XL, only because it's still there. But I would set it to like number 0 or something, and force you to move it. Let's see, the extras for Mikhail, you guys. What's the name of the golf course? It's called Chips Clubhouse, JC. So yeah, Chip, we were Bill's Clubhouse or Mo's Clubhouse sounded like a bar. So we knew we wanted a simple 1-syllable name that the kids would easily remember. And so we went for Chip, because, Chip was related to golf, but you get it. Let's see. What doesn't work, Jason? I'm not sure what that was in reference to. Oh, I see Dino's trying to enter a contest. There's no contest giveaway this evening for a Chips Clubhouse T-shirt. So maybe I can do it another time. But yes, chipsclubhouse.com is where you can see my miniature golf course in all its glory before it is owned by someone else. Let's see. So there was a lot of stuff going on. I could go into the CAF update right now, but I think probably, in a weird way, I might as well kind of key in on a couple things. Everybody probably knows by now I'm doing a Joe Linsner art drop on Saturday at 1 p.m. So I hope everybody can tune in. And if you're a Linsner fan, you're in for a treat, because I've only seen 15 of the 25 artworks he's bringing. I was thinking he was going to be bringing just, pen and ink, maybe a few interior pages, but the 15 he sent me are all full color, some covers, and so if that's the first 15, I can't imagine what the last 10 are going to be. And I don't know what they're going to be, and I haven't gotten the prices on anything yet. But again, it just wasn't really what I was expecting. I was just expecting some mid-tier stuff, but the work is really great. So if you know any Linsner fans out there, even if you're not, please make them aware of the show on Saturday at 1, because there's a lot of Red Sonja, and I mean, I can flash it on the screen really quick so you can see it. It really is all good stuff, but I won't show it long because this is not a members only event. So like that last preview I did when we did Albert stuff, that was more, it was being members only. I thought teasing the artwork ahead of time was good. This one's going to be open to everybody, and it will be run just like the Gerhard and Vosberg sales, where there will be a third person they're in the show with us. They will be the ones getting emailed. It won't be a claim directly in the chat. You'll be emailing that person, and the first person to email them for each piece of artwork is the one who's going to get it. We just feel it'll be a little bit more orderly in the chat and keep the chat relatively, clear from just a lot of craziness like what goes on with Dueling Dealers. And so here, I'll just there you go. So there's 15 pieces, and there's no nudes in there. I know he's always got a lot of fleshy babes, but you can see some Red Sonjas and some Elviras and some Betty Pages in there, and a Vampirella and a Deja Thoris. So there you go. It's all good stuff, and I'm looking forward to the other 10. And I can tell you, he's actually going to offer a commission, and not a high-end commission. It's going to be an 11 by 14 piece that I think the price is going to be $700. And what we're going to do with that one, though, is just like we've done the giveaways in the past, where you put in the exclamation point enter, and we'll probably announce that we're taking entries for the opportunity to get it, and whomever, so we'll do just like the giveaway, say 10 people enter to get it, they want to get their $700 commission, and at the end of the show we'll do the random selection of who gets it. So that way it's not a pell-mell trying to slam an email out to the person who's doing, the claim sale emails for the 25 pieces. This will just be something random. We'll remind people probably in the middle of the show, and then just pick that person at random. And Joe, of course, will have the right to refuse anything. So keep it Joe centric when you want it. I mean, it's $700. I want to get one, so I can't imagine that whom wouldn't. Joe's fantastic, and he'll do a great job on it. Daryl prefers if you look closely, and I don't know what it was, it's the name of the file is Next Batman Raw, and I don't know what Raw stands for, because he's got it all over on most of his files. It's probably something to do with the way he scans it, but it is a Batman on it's not on a gargoyle, but he's around some neon lights, and it's got a cityscape behind it, and that's one of the pieces. So I think there might be something for everyone in that art drop. And yeah. All right, Jason. Well, see, I just said there's no gargoyle, so I don't know if Daryl's going to be happy about it. It might be raw image format. I don't know. I'm not sure why he names all those. He usually calls them raw low, or so all these are the non-print version files that he sent me. So so there you have it. Do I have the price ranges? I do not. But I'll see if he's mailed it to me yet, because I just got the art about an hour ago. He has not yet. I told him I got to have the price list by tomorrow at noon, along with the other 10 pieces, so I can get all the slides prepped. But being Joe and being buying direct from the artist and not having a middleman, I'd assume that these would be very fairly priced. And so subtle. If it was at a dealer site, you can imagine them being 20 or 30% higher than whatever Joe is going to be asking. So I think everything should be priced really well. And I wish everybody luck on getting the pieces. It's going to be fun. I'm doing it with Talent Talk, who helped me on the last. They didn't help me. They were a part of the last Comic Art Live show in May, and like I told you before, I hope to be doing more of these with them. They don't represent, but they help a lot of artists get in front of collectors and fans and do small sketches. This is the biggest thing that they've ever tried, right? Getting out and doing a claim sale through us. And if it goes well, I'm sure we'll be able to do a lot more of these. I'd love to do one with say Wagner or something. I think that would be great. And guys, he does work a lot with them. So fingers crossed, everything goes well. We get some good sales out there. And no, there is no swimsuit Batman, Daryl. And there are no new gargoyles either. All right, so that's what's going on Saturday, and I think it's again, I'm looking forward to it. I like doing the artist sales shows. Yeah, I really had a great time with Gerhard, and and Vosberg. I thought those two were they're just real easy. You know, we had a nice time talking ahead of it. We'll probably do a 20-minute interview with Joe to start the show, which will help everybody kind of get in there if they're a little late, and then start everything probably around 1:20ish or so, as soon as we're at a comfortable point to get started. And with the 25 pieces of art, you know, it's not going to be like a, you know, haggling claim sale. You want the art, it'll be at the price. You know, it's not going to be changed during that. So you got to claim it at the price that it's offered. I'm sure we'll re-show every piece that didn't sell, just so everybody can be reminded of everything that's out there. But it won't be a haggling show. You can't like offer Joe less for the art. Certainly, I guess after the show, if you wanted, you could try to do that. But that would be all up to you. I'd rather you sell it during the show, because that's kind of part of the whole thing for me. You know, it's a little bit of compensation on the sales, and it should be. I'm hoping it goes well. At any rate, so I got that. No haggle, Jason. And then I can also tell you, and I can show you. I just put a slide in there so I wouldn't forget about it, but I'll pull it up on screen. Is that as it turned out, I had Jiggy from Next Comic Art contact me late last week, and he wanted to do a claim sale with me, and he wanted to do it soon. So it'll actually be the following Saturday on the 18th at 1 p.m. I will be doing, and I can't tell you which of his artists are going to be involved in all of this, but there will be a special art drop. And as well, he's got some other published pieces that he also wants to move, and his artist wanted to discount. So it'll be a claim sale. Some of the artwork you'll probably already seen if you're familiar with everything on Next Comic Art. So the art that you've already seen will be discounted, and there will be an art drop, and there may be commission opportunities during that one as well. And again, I'd expect that show to probably last about 2 hours. There won't be any interview. I don't believe we'll be having any of his artists during that, because it's going to be pretty late in the Philippines. I think that they're 12 hours ahead of us. So it's going to be Sunday at 1 a.m. there or something. At any rate, no matter how it goes, I think it's just going to be Jiggy and I, and we'll be showing artwork that, that some of it new, some of it old, but all of it well priced, and maybe a few commissions as well. So that'll be the following Saturday. So now, I was talking about wanting to do one Saturday a month. Now I've got 2 Saturdays. So what are you going to do? I'm going to take any of these opportunities as we can. And so smash the likes, everybody. Yeah, I think Nick was busy. That's part. Nick, I'm flying solo on the show tonight too, by the way. Nick won't be joining me. I don't have any guests this time around. I know that Nick had something going on that was going to make him be late, and I think you can't claim my Wolverine for $350. Sorry, Jason. I got to get that thing scanned. That's why I haven't put it away yet. That's I don't know why I haven't. I need to take the time, but yes, I'm very happy with that. Let's see. I think everybody's kind of. Scott's obsessed with Mannix, as we all should be. I can't promise that there will be anything Mannix in the art drop or whatever might be on sale, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm a big fan as well. I've got bought that Wolverine from Jiggy during the Comic Art Live show in May as well. Thank you, Mr. Red Jack, for letting everybody know we have 75 people watching on YouTube and only 27 likes. Come on. I forget which one that Scott picked up now, because we talked about that. And like Ted just said, it does look like New York Comic Con is going to go ahead, that they mailed out their tickets. I mean, it's still a bit of a surprise. I mean, I saw that Monster Palooza, or Son of Monster Palooza, whatever that is, in California canceled, and they're the same weekend, and they waited till Friday or Saturday to cancel. So after I saw that, I thought for sure that we were going to get an announcement from New York Comic Con that they were going to cancel. But I saw Mike Negan over at Artist Alley. They've got all the tables set up, so they're full speed ahead, I guess, right? I mean, that's the plan. And you guys, all right. So I got a couple of those things out of the way. I wanted to make sure everybody was aware of the Linsner sale and the Next Comic Art thing the following Saturday. So those are both big and should be a lot of fun. Why don't I, a couple other shows that are coming up next, as you know, we usually would have done a Comic Link recap, but because of the holiday, I couldn't get Mike and Albert and Nick to all kind of, well, Nick was good most days. Mike and Albert had problems. So what we ended up deciding to do was we're going to do a combined Comic Link and Heritage recap on Tuesday the 14th. So just look forward to that. There won't be an interview night that week, But as fate would have it, I will actually be doing a interview on Thursday at 5 p.m. because I'll be interviewing Malcolm Bourne from England, and I've been having a lot of, if you have to interview anybody out of the country outside of Jiggy, really, who stayed up past midnight, wants to do that. But Malcolm, he's in I think he's in London, so it's not 9 p.m. 10 p.m. Yeah, it'll be 9 p.m. Oh, it's 4 p.m. That's right, it's 4 p.m. on next Thursday. So I'll be doing that with Malcolm. I assume we won't have a big turnout because it's during the day, but it was the best time for Malcolm, and everybody can watch it on the reruns later on. So Jason Bourne, you guys. All right. Oh, that's right. Yep. Now I remember the one that Scott had from Manic. So yeah, no, that was a good one. That was a great one. Yeah, it's going to be a long recap show. Yeah, well, we're going to, I can tell you that I'll definitely limit the Comic Link portion of the show to, I don't know. We'll have to set a time on everything, but 45 minutes maybe, and then spend an hour and 15 on Heritage so that we can just cram things in and try to keep everybody focused and not dwell too much on everything. I'll try to have a lot of stuff prepped in advance too, as far as comparable market data sales that I can talk about, so that we're not dragging things out, and we can get as much covered as possible. And letter page Malcolm, yeah, that's right. And so yeah, Malcolm will be fun. I've known Malcolm for a long time. I've seen him he's been at San Diego a lot. He has a very eclectic collection, and I think probably half the artists that he's picked, I believe we've probably never had in a collector interview before, because he's already got me all his material. So that should be good. And I can tell you that I did a interview 2 days ago with Court Jabot from Comic-Con Art. So I'm finally getting, I can't say I'm, okay, I was gonna say I'm finally getting back in the swing of interviewing original comic art dealers. I honestly don't have anybody on tap after that, but I did finally interview Court. And as long as he gives me the thumbs up, that will drop tomorrow as a recorded interview at noon. So I can't imagine, we didn't talk about anything outlandish. It was a pretty interesting conversation, because Court, he obviously is an art rep, but he's also an agent for the artists that he reps, and in some cases he's just an agent for them. But he's already, he's been in the monoprint world, for a little while, and dealing with that because he has a few guys who have been digital for a while. And we talk a bit about NFTs, which we haven't talked about in quite a while. And I think that it was nice, to chat with him and to get his perspective on that as well, with somebody who's, in the trenches working with guys who are all, beginning to explore that whole world as well. So a good, I think it was a fun chat. And although he said that we've met before, I couldn't remember meeting him before. So it was, for me, I felt like it was my first time talking with him. So, but that's that is kind of how it goes. And other than that, I think that's all the main stuff. But how about I give you the Dueling Dealers schedule, just to get that recap for everybody. Obviously we haven't had a show since last Saturday, and our next show will be on Monday between Jordan and Mike for the $500 max price Pro-Am bout. That will be 24 pieces for each gentleman, and again, there'll be a 12 rounder with 2 pieces of art per round. And Jason knocked off Anthony last time, so I'd like to think Jordan could do the same thing to Mike. And who deserves a win more than Jordan? Jordan is 0 for 3 right now, but I'm rooting for him. Yeah, I'm sure he's got a good set of art. I know Mike picked out his art like 2 weeks ago, so I don't know why. He wanted to be ready for that one. So my hope is Jordan wins. I'm putting everything in Jordan's corner for that show. And then it's nothing but regular shows after that. I did put the week of New York Comic Con, presuming it does happen. I know Anthony would be busy that Wednesday, so there'll definitely be no way that we could have that show on the 6th. So we're definitely going to do it on Monday and do it as a regular show, unless the guys want to do a 1,000 and under show or something, because it's that week. I'll talk with them about it. So that could change, but outside of that, I don't have any haven't had anybody approach me in a long while about wanting to be on an amateur show or on a or do a pro-am one. So if anybody's interested in wanting to get on one of these, let me know. Maybe we can set something up, or at the very least have your name on a list for a while. I was approached by somebody who pitched me the idea of somehow doing an event where we didn't require, say, 15 pieces of art for everybody. Maybe I brought in 3 people and they all brought 5 pieces. Might make it easier, but I don't know. I'll ponder that kind of a concept for a sales show. But West, we need a birth joke with a thigh gap. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. And Fish is in the audience. He could probably help us out with that one. But I agree that Jordan is class personified. And even if he didn't win, I know he will handle it gracefully like he always has. But I'm rooting for him. How many pieces are needed to participate in a duel, Tim? We've done it. Typically with the standard dueling dealer format between Mike and Anthony, that's 19 pieces. But I've always said that if you and a fellow collector wanted to do a amateur match and you both only felt you could bring 12 pieces, I mean, we could do 1 piece of art per round for 12 rounds and do it that way. At the end of the day, I want to have the shows. I'm not worried about making everybody force themselves into a format that doesn't work for them. So I'm very open. And hey, I mean, if it was only 24 total pieces between 2 sellers, we'd get the show over in an hour. So I'm definitely always open to splitting things up or coming or fitting our shows into what you guys are open to doing. And let's see, I like a purpose. Just reading through the chats. It's in this. Yeah, I've got lots of ideas, as does people in the audience. I get most of the ideas. Honestly, a lot of the better ideas come from you guys, giving me suggestions on how we should take the shows and different things. Tatiana versus Annabelle. Annabelle will not. I have asked Annabelle to be on one of the shows with me. I think because she's helped a lot on the last 2 Comic Art Lives, but she doesn't want to get on camera, unfortunately. So I've tried, but yeah, that would be fun. I'd love to just have an interview with her because she's very interesting. She's done a great job with the artists that she reps. Love to have her on sometime. So we'll see. Fingers crossed. And I agree, Tim. Tim said that 12 seems like a more reasonable number, and I agree. I mean, and I'd be fine with that. So it's more or less, if we were going to find somebody, it'd be great if 2 collectors kind of found each other and decided to do it. But I'm more than welcome if 2 people came to me tonight and said I'd be willing to do a 12 piece battle with somebody else, and I got a few emails about that, I would certainly work to schedule something like that for everybody. So Shapiro versus Daryl. Yeah, at any rate, so I can tell you that we are definitely going to be doing Mike and I are going to do a show on Saturday, October 9th. And it's an alternative to New York Comic Con, since Mike has not been planning on going for quite a while. And it will technically be I guess, we're still calling it the Raiders of the Lost Art show, and that's going to be on. We follow the suggestions from a lot of you. What went really well and what went really wrong with that bin dive that we did, and what we've decided to do is we've actually already picked out half of the artworks. We filmed ourselves doing a bin dive at Mike's place over the weekend, and we did some selections of the pieces that we were going to have, and filmed it. So we're basically pre-diving, and so that when we do show the artwork during that special episode on the 9th, everything will be priced. So there will be no issues there like we ran into last time, and I think that that will work out to everyone's advantage. And the goal at the moment, I can tell you, because Mike he's really into it. He wants to do probably 50 pieces, so it's a straight art drop only with Mike. I can tell you that if New York Comic Con canceled, I would be on the horn with a couple other dealers so that we could make a weekend out of it, or at least make a couple back-to-back shows out of it. But as it stands right now, it will be just Mike and I, and it will be for probably be 50 pieces of art, straight claim sale. But we'll have everything all set up in advance, priced and ready to go. And yeah, here we filmed something for a teaser that we don't have the teaser ready yet, but here was a still from it. I thought you can see the Raiders of the Lost Art logo was created and given to me by Ron Lim. So I appreciate that, Ron. And Mike and I were hamming it up. As you can see, I at least tried to kind of look the part, but Mike wore a Spidey shirt and shorts. So I can guarantee you that we will be re-filming this at some point. Bin diving. Marcus, that's very true. Bin diving is how some Silver Age art got saved. Well, I feel like I'm saving art by doing these bin dives at Mike's house, because it is very, it's dusty. He's got a couple of cats, so it's like every time I'm pulling out of these things, there's some cat hair floating around. It is pretty messy, but yeah, and that's actually a grommet piece on the top there, inked by Mike Bear, and I believe that was one of the pieces that we did set aside for the show. So Mikhail says yes, you'll be performing at the Javits. So yeah, dumpster diving at the Bermuda Mans. You need a meme with yeah. Oh my God, Ron, that's perfect. Where, well, I didn't think of that, but I will work on that, because that's I love it. I'm going to make a note of that, because I was working out a set of memes for that show, and because if you didn't know too, the show with Jordan, the theme on that is actually Raiders of the Lost Art too. Jordan actually named it when I don't know how it came about when we were talking about the whole topic, but Mike and I hadn't settled on a name. I actually said, well, we should just call it like Raiders of the Lost Bins, Mike. And he's like, okay, that sounds good. And then Jordan came to me and said Raiders of the Lost Art as a theme for next Monday's show. And I was like, I like that name better, right? Raiders of the Lost Bins doesn't sound as good as Raiders of the Lost Art. So we'll be having that's the theme for Monday's show with Jordan. And that will be the, I guess, the ongoing theme for the show that Mike and I do. But the show that I do with Mike, with the bin diving part of it, I can tell you that at least right now, more than likely they will just be quarterly shows. That's why it would be a 50-piece type of thing, because I don't think it's something that, with the schedule Mike's on, and it's a lot of work pricing 50 pieces of art you haven't seen in 10 years. So, honestly, I bet he'll spend 3 or 4 days just probably going through and getting prices on stuff. So it's not easy. So not something that Mike wants to do even every other month. If I can get him to do it every third month, we'll be doing all right. No, West. At the end of I did actually order a New York Mets cap. I want Mike to be like short round or something. Is my hope. But at the moment, I think we're both kind of squaring off to try to figure out who should be Indiana Jones. But it should be me. It should be me, not him. He could be anybody else, but Indiana Jones in that. Can I superimpose Jordan's face on Willis Cousins? Yes, that is a good one, Ron. Well, the melting face one though, that one that's a one that I got to do. Maybe I should try to even work that into the show with Jordan. I'll see what I can get done. That should be Temple of the Lost Art. Well, Pat, actually, that was going to be part of that show. The way I've kind of outlined what I'd like to get done for it, it will be something very akin to the Temple of the Lost Art. Yes, absolutely. Where the streets are paved with comic art, right? That's the way it's got to go. But that is part of the plan. We're just going to kind of ham it up and work with that genre as best we can. He can be the bull. I could put his face on it. That would be pretty good. All right. I know, Mikhail. I know. But let's see. James says he can help Mike price. I don't think Mike would want that. Actually, this belongs in a CAF. Sorry, I'm just reading through. More like the Temple of Bins. That's enough. Yeah. See, there's way too many possible themes and shows to run with. So we'll see. We will definitely see how we're going to work that out. It belongs in a museum. Yeah, Jeff, you got that right. Cats do love pins. I'm scrolling up just to see the comments now. No, yeah. All right. At any rate, you get the idea. We're going to have a lot of fun with it, and we'll figure it all out. Yeah, is that true, James? Do you always overprice your art? Jordan rip out Mike's art. Oh my God, that I'll tell you the problem. The problem with Jordan is we haven't gotten. If Jordan had a green screen, man, I could do a lot of crazy stuff with Jordan. I'll have to think about that. Well, you know what? Maybe we can work that out, and in a very interesting film way. Where I can. It might be me ripping out Mike's heart, but we can make it look like it was Jordan doing it. The art of the covenants. Oh my God. All right. Yep. It's see, I just need to throw it to you guys, and all the ideas come right back at 10 times better. Be his father, Bill, Sean Connery. Well, the thing is, Mike actually did Sean's we were kind of trying to get the sounds and things down, as far as like who sounded better. And Mike was a way better Sean Connery than I was. So if anything, he should get that. But we'll see. We'll see. That's a good idea though. He is older than me too. So if anything, he should be calling me Junior. He should be Sean Connery. And send Jordan a green sheet. Mike needs it. Oh man. Jordan has paintings that are green. Yeah, he does, but not big enough to stand in front of, unfortunately. So, what about the monkey brains? Keep up. Oh my God. Oh, this is yeah. You've chosen wisely. We may. Thank you. That's a good one, Mikhail. Yes. Just find a way. Yep. Raiders has sequels, Temple of Doom. Yeah, exactly. Dino, I mean, there's just too many. We can write a million of them. So, and all right, let's we can move on from that a little bit. But I like all the ideas. We will definitely have a lot of fun with it. And I have to go over to Mike's again, I think that this upcoming weekend, and finish the bin dive and pull another 25 pieces. So, but everything that we looked at was pretty cool, and there were a couple covers in there. I mean, it was, definitely different. But I'm hoping I want to find a couple, pieces that I know people are going to be really excited about. And we are debating whether or not that becomes a members only event. As far as the chat goes, we haven't committed one way or another to it. But I mean, it would make sense if we did, especially if it was only quarterly. And then, but we'll see. That's something we haven't committed to either way yet. And does Mike provide good snacks? He orders good pizza. Let's put it that way. He's a good host, but he does not cook, and he's got lots of friends that tend to bring food over. So yeah, McDonald's. Yeah, no, I think his favorite is Subway. So Subway is Mike's favorite. If he's got a coupon, he'll buy 2 sandwiches, so he has dinner for 2 separate days. He is a captain of the coupons. I can tell you that. So he saves all his money for his art purchases, not in his fast food. All right, let me go through. I think I've got everything other than that was the main thing. I just everybody's got to tune in on the next Monday show with Jordan, because that's going to be a lot of fun, especially now. If we can eat chilled Berkey brains and rip his heart out too. Oh my God, what an episode that's going to be. That deserves its own trailer, and then a follow-up sequel to that one. So start with Firehouse was better. Yeah. Eat Freshest. You guys are great. The Well of Souls. Man, you guys. See? Yes, Subway, Ron. I'm sorry. That is number 1 on his list. Yep. We are going to have a great time with these episodes. I guarantee it. So, all right. I am I'm trying to go through my list here to make sure I didn't miss any of the upcoming shows of importance. So I don't think I have. I've got them all. So what I think we should do now is just jump into the CAF update, considering we are 40 minutes into this. Oh man, it writes itself, doesn't it, everybody? Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about art sales and things like that, because it was an incredibly dismal week in general. But of course, it's the holiday. Everybody took the whole Labor Day weekend and Monday and all that stuff, and decided, the dealers decided they weren't going to update. They weren't, and I don't. Maybe they didn't even close deals. They decided, they're going to wait till Tuesday, because there were only 142,000 in sales by dealers last week, from August 30th through September 5th, and that's compared to 264 the week before, which by and large would be about our average. Probably 300 is closer to the average. So $142,845. I mean, that is pretty dismal. And you're right. Waiting for Heritage probably played a big part in it. I guess you could say the Comic Link auction, probably, having happened right before that had a bit to do with that. So, I mean, there are a lot of contributing factors to the dealers taking that week off. But what it did allow to happen again was Anthony came on top. Man, if he was getting trophies for these, you know how happy he would be. He loves to win. So he actually had the most sales for that week, 79 sales, 40,000 plus. Next up was Felix with just 5 sales, 35,000. He had a complete issue sell. Panel Page with 4 sales, 19,000. Ramita Man, 6 sales. He was at Subway all week, only had $12,800 in recorded sales. And next 2 was Tatiana with 40 sales, just over 10. And then Splash Page had 32 sales for $9,785. I'm not sure what Mark was selling to have such a low volume to dollar amount. I'll have to go back and look. I didn't look that closely on what his sales were, but I mean, he's not in the list too often. So yeah, and what happens a lot too when it's a holiday weekend like that, the dealers, they're getting sales, but they don't bother recording them. And so I would think typically we might see a bigger week, but then it's up against the Heritage signature auction this week. So who knows? Who knows what is going to happen? Someone needs to be pick up the Panel Page. Yeah, I think he just got those, didn't he? So he's too busy. Did Anthony beat? No, Daryl. If you didn't hear, Jason beat Anthony, and you can owe it all to Rich Donnelly for making a last-minute purchase. As we were literally going off the air during that show, there was a chat that we had all missed. Jason, myself, Anthony, even Maureen and Gwen, who are the spotters, didn't see it because we had already gone through Anthony won, and the show was over. We'd announced him as the victor, and as soon as the show was over, I glanced over at the chat, and there was Rich claiming a $400 piece of artwork, not haggling or anything. It was already, Jason had lowered it to $400. And I don't know why he took so long to claim it. He waited literally, it had probably been at least 10 minutes since Jason had that piece of art on screen, but Rich claimed it. And so after the show, I ran through the numbers and looked at everything, and sure enough, Jason was the victor. So he should have gone to Anthony's warehouse and taken the belt from him. I don't know if he did. He should have, but the champ is here. Yes, exactly. So that was good. Anthony's reign of terror of always winning the low dollar shows was finally over, and Jason came out on top on that one. So let's see. Yep. Just rubbing. All right. I hear you, Daryl. All right. So let's see. Next up. So we're not through with the dealer stuff. So at any rate, that was the thing. Very dismal week, but we'll see how things rebound next week, even with the Heritage stuff. The dealers they do get lazy. They don't go into their admins, and Mark stuff is sold. They take the weekend off. So my guess would be they probably will have a more normal week next week. Anthony is the king of quantity. Absolutely. If I was to run a year-to-date report, I bet Anthony has double the sales, or the overall sales, over the next closest dealer, whomever that might be, which probably would be Mike, I guess. But it'd definitely be Mike second as far as overall sales. But dollar-wise, Mike's probably 4 times higher than Anthony, just because of the type of work that they sell. So, guys, all right, let me show the video for the dealer update here. Get this one on the screen. So first up is the Daniel Warren Johnson Beta Ray bill, issue 5, sold complete by Felix, and the asking price, which I'm sure it was the final sales price, was $30,000 for that complete issue. And next up, this was sold by Panel Page. And the asking price was $8,500 for this piece of art by Keith Pollard. This was from X Factor 4. It is the splash page to it, title page. Next up, this was on, I think it's been on Anthony's site for a while. This is a He-Man Masters of the Universe figure piece by Dave Stevens, sold for $6,500 as the asking price on that one. And this one, Stephen Butler, a page 1 splash to Web of Spider-Man 125. This was $5,000 asking price, and by Glenn. So next up, this one, this was sold by Anthony on Dueling Dealers, and it did sell for $3,700. This was that Al Williamson Blade Runner piece. And finally, this is sold by Mike, $3,500. John Romita Sr. This is a Spider-Man book cover from the 1980s, and I'm not sure which book cover that was, but it was a good one. It was a good one. So trying to get caught up. Yep, great issue. Jason won the belt. More X-Men next time, Jason. Yeah, more X-Men, Jason. So I think and the thing is, Anthony wants to go again. So, but I'm sure, Jason, you got to recover. You're gonna doing another $500 show is tough. I mean, that's 24 pieces of art is a lot to pull out. And no, sorry, I'm just reading through there. Another piece. All right. So let's get to the auctions house side of things, which were actually kind of normal. $246,000 that last week over 203 the week before. So a very, 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 no more art. So it's good. Well, then there you go, Jason. You've earned your time off. Two episodes of Dueling Dealers. And the first one was in May and then August. So you've paid your dues. If you don't do another one for a couple of years, presuming Dueling Dealers. See, now I've got Indiana Jones on my head now. Presuming Dueling Dealers is still around, you're always welcome to come back. All right, here we go. Let me find this. So, like I said, $246,713 at auction, and of course, this doesn't include anything from Comic Link. I did get for the recap show next week, I did get an email from Josh that gave me the total sales for that auction, which I believe, I'm not going to search it, but I'm pretty sure he told me it was 1.7 million was the final total sale price for all the lots that closed successfully. So that was I think that's about what his average has been. I think when they peaked, they had one show that was just over $2 million. So 1.7 is probably right in their sweet spot, but we'll go over that next Tuesday. So let me get the eBay and Heritage auction results on here for you. So like I said, 246,713. And first up is these three are from eBay. Giant Size Spider-Man number 5, Ross Andrew, Mike Esposito, 1974. This one went for $6,950. Next up is this Grendel, God and the Devil number 8 cover, and it's by J.K. Snyder, and price on this one was $4,500. And the final piece from eBay, which sold for $2,100, is this Wolverine 13 page by John Buscema and Bill Sienkiewicz. Now, the three heritage pieces are a Superman style guide, the Jose Luis Garcia Lopez piece that sold for $7,200. Then we've got another Superman. It's an unpublished page by Joe Shuster and John Sakella. Sold for $5,760. And the last piece, Win Mortimer, Murphy Anderson, Action Comics, $379, $5,520, again from Heritage. So the breakdown between the two auction houses was eBay sold $132,000 of that amount, and Heritage had $114,000 for that amount. So, I mean, at least they're back to form a bit. And but again, with the Hollow, we'll see how everything shakes out. I mean, I'd like to think that they're both back to normal. And of course, when we do the recap next week, we're going to have Heritage signature results as well as the weekly results. So that's going to be a pretty crazy high sales week, no matter how you shake that out. And yeah, it's nice to see Superman get a little bit of love. I was curious to see how, for instance, that the Alex Ross Superman and the Batman pieces were going to go. I knew the Batman was going to go higher, but I was happy to see that they both kind of came in relatively close to one another. I think it was around 96 for the Superman and 102, 103 for the Batman. So, yep, that was nice to see, because Superman usually does not get his due in the art sales world, especially when he's competing against Batman. And yes, that is absolutely right, Dino. Schuster published art would be 5 times that, without question. And of course we just don't see enough of it. That's why. And as the hobby turns, it could be 8 times to 10 times that, that kind of price as things are going. All-Star Soups is also a dream. Very true, Samuel. Very, very true. All right, let's get over to the popular. Those 2 great, colors on Superman really pop. I agree with you on there, Pat. I actually kind of like the Superman over the Batman, but you just knew that it was not going to sell for more than the Batman. How do you think Aquaman? Well, yeah, there you go. That answers itself right there. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you've seen I remember Mike's tried to sell some Aquaman art on Dueling Dealers, and we can't sell a single piece. Poor Aquaman. So, yep. And it's so funny, isn't it? I mean, it's DC characters and their markets are so character driven. I mean, you could say everything is, but you look over at Marvel and it's like, all the top tier books, they all kind of can command really strong prices, and you can't look at it and say, well, this version of a particular character might not, may not sell like that. But DC certainly has some interesting pricing models, I guess would be to say. All right. Let's get into the popular art. I think I got 25 again for this week. So it was a very, very solid week, as we've had pretty much all summer long. Fantastic artworks added to CAF. There's a whole bunch of great ones that have been posted since Monday too. So it's going to make picking those 25 very difficult. But let me show you my 20. And again, I got to get my guest on here to do some picks. I apologize, and I will resolve that. I will resolve it for next week. We will have a guest doing at least 10 picks on their own next week. So here we go. This one got a ton of attention, deservedly. So Fish Benz' collection, John Buscema, final page of the John Buscema Silver Surfer graphic novel. Just an amazing, amazing piece. And congrats to Fish on that one. And another Collector Conversation alum, Duke Fleed. This is from Thor 430, cover with Ghost Rider, Ron Friends, and Al Milgram. Marcus Way comes in with this piece here from Paul Gulacy. Shang-Chi painting. Love it. Should have had that one like sliding in from the left, shouldn't I? And, I've never featured a color guide before, but I really like this Jack Kirby 2001 Treasury color guide. It's in the collection of Glenn Gold, and Kirby was a colorist on that book, and so that thing was fabulous. And this is in David Ascani-san's collection, Mike Diodato Jr., Cable and X-Force #1 cover. It's a variant. Next up, Anchor. This is in your collection, as you well know. This is by Scott Williams. It's the X-Men Legends #8 cover. And here we have another Shang-Chi #1 cover. This is by Arthur Adams, and this is in Mig's collection. And a Bernie Wrightson. This is a panel from a creepy magazine, a story that was called Clarice. This is from 1976. It is in the collection of Artless Artmore. And Larry Wilson picked this piece up from Splash Page recently. This is by Lee Bermejo. This is the cover to First Wave number 3, and it was a variant. And this is by Jackson Gleiss, and this is Superman Y2K page 60, and it's in the collection of Michael McIsaac. Really nice Alan Davis piece here. Excalibur Special Edition, number 1, page 21. This is in the collection of Jonathan Mueller. Inks by Paul Neary. And this is a great Tim Sale Catwoman. I really love this image, and this is in Michael 07's collection. Glenn Crane has a wonderful eye for these early pages. This is by Jack Davis, Incredible Science Fiction, number 33 splash page. Absolutely fantastic. And Mikhail, Swamp Thing, number 6, pages 2 and 3. Nice DPS by Mike Perkins. Love this image. I mean, I love it. Words cannot describe how much I like that image. And here's a piece by Rob Pistella's collection, and it's Jeffrey Jones. And this is a part of an Idol story from the 70s. And this is, I think, the second page of that story. And strangely enough, Ash Wood, who has a CAF gallery, posted this Jeff Jones as well, another Idol piece. It's a good week to have Jeff Jones artworks posting to CAF. And Mr. Wingo, Star Wars 19, page 23 from 1978. Carmen Infantino and Bob Wyacek. Look at that. I love that one. And we get a little bit more of the Thor action here. This is in Jason's collection. Ron Friends, Joe Sinnott from Thor 428, page 25. And it also has Excalibur in it, which is probably why Jason bought it. And this is in Ted Latner's collection, Fantastic Four Roast. This was laid out by Fred Hembeck with Cowan and Rubenstein doing the penciling and inking. And Mickey posted this one on Facebook. I was happy seeing it on CAF as well. This is by Zek and Tartaglione, and it's Master of Kung Fu 59, page 31. And a update would not be complete without a piece from Dinesh. This is from Superman number 80, page 12. Dan Jurgens and Brett Breeding. And 4 more pieces to go. Another Bermejo and Mick Gray inking on this one. This is from the Joker graphic novel. Daryl R's collection. Congratulations, Daryl. And this is in Jonathan Mueller's collection as well. Another Alan Davis, Paul Neary piece, and from the same Excalibur special edition. This is page 46. And one more. Well, no, 2 more. This is in Paul Tobin's collection. It's Jack Kirby, Frank Giacoya from Captain America, issue 199. And I'm rounding this out with something a little bit more modern. This is in the collection of Philip Quattrone. This is Red Sonja by David Finch. So there you have it. 25 fantastic artworks. And I'm sure, we could do another 25, but 25 at a time is all I can muster. So, and Daryl, yes, Daryl got in. It's funny. I mean, trust me, guys, I don't do this on purpose because it's, but I see many of you are in the chat and it's your artwork that I end up picking, but I really pick it on the art merit. When I go through it, I don't really even look who owns the pieces while I'm doing the selection. I've got a couple methods that I use to kind of pull out. I find some during the week, which I note, and then I go through and I do some compare contrasts on like the most liked art that happened that week, the most commented, and the most viewed. And I've got different ways I can kind of filter that in the admin for me. And I kind of base things, but when I'm doing that, I'm really only looking at the thumbnail, so it doesn't say it's in ML's collection, for instance. So I'm literally kind of looking at that, and I look at the art, and then I kind of set up all the details. So it's great. It's a lot. I'm glad you guys are in the chat here and also get your art featured in there. But yeah, Fish, you kind of ruled CAF for that week, and deservedly so. And I got to get a drink of water. I'm losing my voice. An hour into this, sorry. All right. So, a couple other things to go over. my guy Colin, he's been to a few shows. He went to the Boston Fan Expo the last weekend, and I said, well, if you can, shoot a little bit of video if you have the time. I don't know if Colin's out there or not, but he did like a walkthrough of Artist Alley area, and it's a little quick, but I'm going to show it to you anyway, because if you as long as you don't blink, you can pretty much catch some of the people that are there in attendance. He didn't do any interviewing or chatting. It was I think it was probably right around the time the show opened, so some of the people weren't at their tables or whatever. But hey, it gives us a little convention feel, and I'm glad he did it. And he also did another one as well that I'll show some images from that, because it was a show from this summer. But here was the piece from Fan Expo. Again, it's quick, but at least it feels like you're at a con. So appreciate it, because at least the rate I'm going, I'm not going to see a con for another 5 or 6 months. So I was glad to get what I got.
Okay, Jessica. Yeah. So that means as like the
So there you have it. That's as far as we got, but it's good. But you're right. You don't hear a lot of ambient talking. So I do think that Colin said it was right at the beginning of the show was when he did it. So, yeah. Sorry, I'm just reading through. No lines. Definitely. And there's Pat Broderick. I mean, I would have went right up to his table and bought something from him. Nobody was at his table. That's criminal, right? I mean, that I would have definitely picked up something from him. Oh, Pena was there. Yeah, I did see a Pena there. Was there, and yeah, a few other artists. But Jim Shooter was there. I saw him sitting in the corner as we panned by him. So a few other people, and that's I see Rizzo. Yeah, Rizzo had to cancel in New York City, but thankfully turned pre-commissions into mail-ins. That's good. Very thoughtful. And I saw somebody had mentioned they got their first Rizzo. I haven't got. Oh, there you go, Samuel. You got your first Rizzo. Congratulations. I have not gotten my own yet. At some point, I will. So envious of that. And let's see. So at least we have a con. And and Mikhail, I hope you shoot a little bit from New York, as long as everything goes as planned. I mean, you should have an easy time in Artist Alley. And you should shoot a little video in there if you don't mind. I would certainly appreciate it. I'm sure. Let's see. I need one too. We're walking up to Jack Kirby, Bruce Timm. Yeah, I'm not that lucky. Never got to meet Jack Kirby, but I have met Bruce Timm, and it started early enough that at least I remember being able to get up to Mike's table before San Diego started and being able to buy something from him. That doesn't, of course, that didn't last forever, but I did definitely get a few pieces from him that way. It was nice when Mark Hay, who I was set up with, was moved to that side of the hall. I only had to walk 2 aisles over, and I could be at Mike's table when the show started. There was usually 6 or 7 people in front of me, but yeah, that was usually how I went. Usually Quan was one of them, but he was usually completing his transaction at that point. But yeah, that's how that went. So the other show that, let me see here. I have to kind of remove a couple things here, but he had let's see, Colin had gone to that the exhibit at the Norman Rockwell Museum, which is in Stockbridge, Mass. And it was that enchanted, history of fantasy and science fiction art that I think it started in June, and it does go through the. What does it go through? I think it goes through Halloween. So anybody who's in that area, should take a look, look at it if you get the opportunity, because his videos weren't. Let me see if I can. I did upload one video, but I think there's no sound. They're kind of quick. Let's see. Yeah, there's no audio in the videos that he had, but it was kind of, they did take an interesting snapshot of the fantasy pieces, but by and large, most of the artwork was more modern. Like that's a Julie Bell piece there, and it's a little too fuzzy. I can't make those out. And perhaps that's let's see. I've got a few photos of these, but yeah, this is definitely. I'm going to work with Colin on that, but I saw like an Omar Rand piece there as well. But I do have some still photos that he took from there, because there was actually quite a bit of comic art at the exhibit. So that, which I guess shouldn't be surprising. I mean, people kind of can classify the comic art in any way, shape. I guess it's a form of fantasy for some people. But let me get my screen here set up so I can share it. So like this is a James Gurney piece, and he typically paints dinosaurs into a lot of pieces. So, but that of course has a very romanticism type period and feel to it, but done in the I think it was done in the early 2000s. So it's not too old of a piece. Not familiar with that. Let's see. There was a piece, this painting by Brahm. I know this used to be in my friend Patrick Wilshire's collection. He had commissioned that for an IX show, I think 3 years ago. So it's absolutely beautiful, and it's huge. It's probably, I'd say 5x7, at least 4x6. It's huge, massive. This is a piece by Bob Eggleton. And there, that's what reminded me about it. Magnolia, there's a nice piece there. And all this work was, I know there were a few hands that were involved with pulling the show together, but I haven't made it to the show myself. I would love to. And another interesting piece there. Not familiar with the artist on that. So Terry Dodson. I mean, I'm not sure how this wound up in there, a Superman piece, but Superman getting love at a enchanted show. Not familiar with that. And then another Dodson. You get a Wonder Woman that time. And not familiar with that. Classic D&D image for you right there. Anybody who ever played remembers that cover. It was on the box, right? I can't remember now. But let's see. Nice. There's the Julie Bell again. I believe I saw this 2 years ago at IX, and again, it's a huge painting. It's probably 3.5 by 5. I don't think this one was commissioned by Patrick, but it might have been. I know he's gotten a few pieces commissioned by Julie over time. This is a guy, if you like really odd artwork, his name is Omar Rand, and I think it's Rayaaan. He's a phenomenal painter. His work is humorous, and the situational kind of stuff that he puts his characters in is crazy. I've got like a small dwarf. You can't see my screen's tiny. It's like a little dwarf with a battle axe sitting on a pigeon. So and all reasonably priced. He's a really interesting guy, and his art's phenomenal. Greg Hildebrandt painting. This is by a sculptor named Thomas Kubler. He does everything realistic. He's done a lot of artwork that is in Guillermo del Toro's collection, believe it or not, and all of it life-size sculptures. He's just, I mean, if you've never heard of him, you should look him up, because he actually lives in Columbus, Ohio, and his sculpture work is, I mean, it's very, very, very unique, but very fitting to be around in Guillermo's collection. This is by Donato Giancoya. He's painted a lot of Lord of the Rings things for different periodicals and books. He's a phenomenal painter. Another Hildebrandt. That is St. John's, I believe. Right? Yeah. And let's see. Here, Frazetta, of course. So we got that. Another Williamson and Frazetta, right? I believe signed. Yep, there you go. Williamson and Frank Frazetta. Weird fantasy cover. That's a beauty. And let's see what else we got. Another Frazetta. You can actually see Colin in the background on that one. Oh, Kelly Jones. Oh, or Kelly Jones, Jeff Jones. I'm sorry, my brain is not working properly sometimes. Looks familiar, but I'm not sure who. And yeah, it's Forrest. That's what I thought. I'm just zip through some of these. At any rate, obviously a good show. Here's a Foster. Yeah, there's another Foster. Not sure what that was from. And then I believe that would be a Wyeth, Andrew Wyeth painting. So, yeah, very nice show. If anybody can get out to Stockbridge, Mass, right? I mean, that would be a show I definitely would like to attend if I could make it. But see, Michael, thank you for confirming that. Yeah, Wyeth is one of my favorite painters, and that's a beautiful image. I'm still looking at it. Sorry, it's on the screen. All right, so there you have it. I think that. Oh, you know what? One last thing, because Nick Barucci could not be here tonight. Colin, oh, there you go. The James Gurney. Oh, it was okay, so it was from the 90s. Okay. I didn't get a chance. The thing that I went to the Enchanted website, Colin, and I was hoping to get like an outline. I thought they'd have some kind of a PDF of all the artwork, and they didn't. They didn't. Well, at least I couldn't find it. I tried looking around because I know that there's a lot more art than you took photographs of at that show. So I'm very jealous that you got to go to it, because yeah, that's all right at my alley, and I'm not going to be able to go to the IX show this year in October, because I'm going on a trip to hang out with an old friend that weekend. So I'm not going to get my fantasy art fix for at least another year. And yep, I agree, Rick. It's an awesome exhibit, and we need more of these. They sell a book. Okay, I'll check that out then, because I didn't, other than trying to find a list of the art that was there, I did not go and look to see what they had. So if they published a book, that's good. Yeah, Dinotopia. Yep. Gurney is a phenomenal talent, and I can't say enough good things. I've never actually gotten to see any of his work in person, though. So all right, let's see. My favorite illustrators, and then see why. Yeah, Michael. Yeah, no, I remember. I'll tell you. Wyeth was somebody when I was going to art school that I patterned. I really loved his work, and I can't say that I drew like Andrew Wyeth, but that was the feel that I was putting into the work that I was doing. And I remember I went to one of those. I went to Montserrat College of Art in Massachusetts, and they turn any good fine artist into a avant-garde fine artist. And I literally had my painting teacher. No, it was actually it was in a life drawing class. He picked up my easel and threw it, and he's like, if you want to draw like Andrew, like Wyeth, you just leave my class today. And I was in shock. I mean, I think I was 19 years old, and to have your teacher pick up your easel and toss it, because and I stopped. And it literally was like a turning point where I was like, I didn't stop drawing. I stopped drawing like Wyatt. I kind of took a turn. I ended up going into sculpture more than anything else. But even when I drew, I tried to look at things differently. I didn't want to draw things in a natural way anymore. Whereas before that, that was the way I drew, right? And so yeah, big bad turning point. But hey, I ended up doing CAF, right? So it steered me away from my dreams of being an illustrator. So yeah. Have you ever seen? No, I have not. I have not at all. But I'd love to see a Maxfield Parrish. So yes. All right. Let's see. I think. Oh no, Barucci. I can't forget Nick. So Nick's got his show tomorrow, the EXP, and he was busy tonight. So I just told him have him send me one of his preview video clips so we can go. Let's see what he's got for sale tomorrow at 7. And let's see. See, Chris. Yeah, right. Art teachers stink. They really do. I mean, it's manipulative the way they are. But you kind of go into it not knowing what to expect, and it definitely changed me for better or worse. But let's see. All right, I've got Nick's video somewhere around here. Okay, here it is. So let's give it a look. I have actually not watched it at all, so I haven't seen the art he's got selected for tomorrow.
Hey everybody, this Friday, September 10th, join us for the Original Art Experience. We are going to have some killer artwork. Speaking of which, we are going to have Greg Capullo Batmans with some really killer characters on the cover. Yes, the jokes only get worse from here. Plus, sticking with the Batman theme, we have Trinity, #2 by Matt Wagner. We will have David Finch and Danny Mickey, Batman Rebirth #3, page 19. Avengers by John Romita Jr. Teen Titans by Brett Booth, and this is what it looks like when you don't rip the art at the bottom. We'll have a few prints a la Superman. We have a great Avengers vs. X-Men cover, which happens to have Kang the Conqueror, Loki, Red Skull, so many other characters, and of course Deadpool. Would there be a cover without Deadpool? And Batman Mad Monk by Matt Wagner, double-page spread. Not only that, but we're going to have some remarks. This is a sold-out remark, but I just wanted to tease so that you can tune in Friday, September 10th at 7 p.m. only on The Experience.
Rip that logo off. Yes, I agree. It doesn't need to be on that artwork. But yes, so Nick couldn't be here this evening, but at least we get to see Nick in all his glory. So Dinotopia was spectacular, Michaela. I completely agree. So let's see. I believe I probably covered all the stuff I wanted to do here. It was definitely a relaxing week for me to have a couple shows not weighing over me. Dueling Dealers does take a lot of work, I've found, and while I love doing it, it's time consuming. It's all the editing and stuff, but I love it. But it was really odd having not having to prep for Wednesday and having all that time off, and then along with just the holiday, and then not having a collector show, which I should tell you, we did decide to not do the collector show this Sunday, and for no other reason than going into last week when we decided not to do that show because of Labor Day weekend. I was really feeling like I needed two weekends off, and I didn't want to ask anybody to host it for me. But in the back of my mind, I was thinking that. And then when James and I were emailing a few days back, I think it was yesterday, where I just said, I'd really rather just have that night off, and then we focus on the following show. So that is the plan. That we will be off for this upcoming Sunday, and then we'll be back on after that. And I can tell you that Jeff Wedding and I have been emailing about the CAF kind of concept, where we're going to start talking about different things important to the hobby, and then fielding suggestions from the audience on things that you'd like us to cover. I'd love to do a session of that, like with Mikhail, for instance, on packing art and all the best practices sorts of things. So it's going to be like a primer for the hobby that, as Jeff in his outline to me that he just emailed me earlier talked about, something that we can evolve as technology evolves, as Mylar changes, and opinions change on the best ways to store artwork, that it's something that, we'll update frequently, or infrequently as needed. So, but it's going to be something that should be a good primer for new people coming into the hobby, as well as people who've been in the hobby for a long time and maybe we're doing some things wrong. So it should be interesting, and I hope to work with many of you on this project. That will be, and they'll be like short 10, 15, maybe 20-minute segments. They'll be pre-recorded, so it won't be something where you're going to be able to interact with us, but you'll certainly be able to comment afterwards, give us feedback, and it will help us kind of steer the direction that we take this new concept. Just putting out these tutorials and facts for the hobby in an easily digestible format. So keeping cats away from the art. Yeah, that's a definite way. Definitely needs to be done over at the Berkey house. No more F-bombs from a guest host. Exactly. How's the index, Tim? Like I said, I wish I had time to do it. I'm trying, man. It's all right there. I just need to take the time to do it. I have it all. It's all in the spreadsheet. I just have to copy paste from it and I'll get it in there. But it will end up being on that video list that's on CAF today, underneath the design section, the YouTube list. It needs to be more than just Jeff's talking. We can't wait for that, Jeff. It'll be fun. And yep, Lawrence, it's going to be a very, very interesting set of things. And again, I want to expand on it. It doesn't just have to be about, how to store, how to scan, how to ship. We could touch on a lot of different elements of it. I mean, I'm sure we will do a video that's strictly on art types, right? What's the difference between a double page spread and a double page splash? I mean, dumb stuff like that. With none of Anthony's, it's a what I can't even remember, a double vertical splash or a 2-panel splash. I mean, next he'll want to call a panel page, he'll come up with something stupid, but he'll work the word splash page in there. Are any college parties at Berkey's house? No, but he regularly throws. He always has like every Sunday it's a party at his house, because he has a lot of friends who like football, and he has like a great room, I guess, if you want to call it anything. It's just this massive. It's like 50 feet by 40 feet, and ceiling's 30 feet high, and he's got two. I don't even know what the size are. They're probably 8-foot TVs in there. So they're every Sunday. There's two games going on, and usually 10 or so people hanging out watching football. So that's his thing. He throws a lot of those, and I guess he's into fantasy football a lot. So he hosts lots of get-togethers for that kind of stuff too. Not quite like Animal House though. And RG, like Comic Art 101. That will be exactly what it'll be like. So art of bidding on different. Yeah, I mean you're right. There's so much ground to kind of cover in the like Marcus, and that's a great one. Because people, being able to explain the difference between the way Comic Connect's auctions work versus eBay being straightforward, or Heritage Auction that at least allows for last minute bidding. It doesn't have a fixed cut time, versus Comic Link that has a fixed cutoff time. So there's a lot of stuff that we can cover and keep them small and digestible. So it's not like you have to watch for a full hour to get, Jeff's opinion on all the right ways to properly store your artwork. We'll be able to cover small bites, of those things and get them out there, and it'll just make it easier, right? Then you pick and choose what you want to watch and or listen to. So thank you, Michael. Thank you. I owe it all to Jeff. It's all Jeff's idea. I mean, he and I, once I knew what his background was, I just felt like it would make for a wonderful show, even if we just talked about that one element. But Jeff really came in and said, we should do something bigger. Let's make it bigger and bring in other people to talk about different aspects of the hobby. And so it's like in a way it's kind of like what we do on the Collector Show, but not having it be a part of an extended thing. We're taking just that one collector who's got a lot of knowledge, and then using that for the one topic. So have them all hosted by Ruben. Well, Ruben's kind of long-winded. They might take a long time if we had Ruben hosting them, but we'll see how they go. I'm not, format-wise, I don't even feel like I have to be on screen for all of them, although I'd like to be a part of them one way or another. I'm sure I'll be handling the editing and whatnot, so I do want to have a little bit of input on all of them, but I certainly do not feel that I need to be on screen for probably any of them technically. So we'll see how it goes. I have there you go, 3 hours each episode. I saw that, but Marcus, a baking tutorial from Sharon. All right. Well, I've told her she should honestly she should do something, because she would do fine, doing like a cosplay baking channel, where she dresses up, does something, and she could film those. She could film the process to make the cakes that she does for Dueling Dealers, and then condense it down to like a 20-minute thing. She would probably have a following, right? I mean, at the end of the day, she's in her outfit, and she probably doesn't have an outfit on when she's cooking, but maybe at the end when she presents it, she has it on. But I think it would be funny. I mean, I've tried to suggest it, but who knows if she'll ever do it. How about NFT again with other dealer perspectives? Loves that. Yeah, Shaggy. Well, I'll tell you, watch the video tomorrow. Court has not told me anything. Told me that I can't. So I'll probably tomorrow at noon I will release the interview I did with Court, because he talked, who runs Comic-Con Art. He had some thoughts and opinions on NFTs as well. And he was somebody actually I did email with when I was picking, when we set up the Felix and Jason chat. I knew that Court, because of the number of people he reps, and I talked to Mark Hay as well, but Court was he had a lot of opinions, more so than even Mark. Mark was in like a learning phase at that point in time when we did that first conversation, but Court was already set and his thoughts on NFTs and what the rights of his artists and whatnot. And so I don't think we don't really touch on NFTs in a controversial way, but we do talk about it for about 10 minutes during the 45 minute chat. And it was good. And I told, because he would be somebody I'd love to have on. If I ever do it again, having his opinion would be great, because he has been in it a while. I could tell you that Matt Kennedy from Sequential, I'm drawing a blank now on the name of his gallery, Sequential Treasures. No, that's not it. I should know it because he's got an ad on my dang site, and I'm having a brain fart on that. Where the heck is it? Pop Sequentialism. He has been in the NFT world for a while, and I didn't know that. So if I ever do another NFT conversation, I'll definitely have Matt a part of it, because he's been doing things for a while, and I think he even talked about potentially having some kind of an NFT related show and some other things that he's at his gallery in California. No, right. That's why I was getting Samuel Essential. I was getting Jason's business name screwed up with Pop Sequentialism, the Art of Comics, which is Matt Kennedy's thing. But Matt has been in NFTs for a while, and I'm sure I think before the end of the year we should have another kind of sit down talk about it. I mean, I'll tell you, Scott. I mean, it's funny. Scott was the first person to have a NFT on one of our interview shows, which was really cool. But I forget who I was talking to the other day. I was at the golf course, because it's now that it's fall. I've a couple of the college kids had to leave, so I had to go in and work on a Saturday night. And I was talking to a family that I've known for a while, not well, and they were asking me kind of, what do I do when I'm not working at Chips? And I told them about comic art. And the son, who probably, he must be, he could either still be like a senior in high school, maybe 19, 20. He was like, oh yeah, I bought my first NFT using Bitcoin that my dad gave me the other day. And I forget what and it had something to do with comics. It was probably like somebody drawing, their own version of a comic character. It wasn't like like Marvel DC. Probably, I think it was something more like a Peanuts character or something like that. But yeah, so now you've got, this is exactly kind of what we talked about, that when the kids these days are growing up and they're going to start collecting NFTs, they're not even thinking about buying originals. So I just, I chuckled because I'm like, wow, that's exactly what I thought would happen. Kids are going to realize that, they can collect trading cards as NFTs, and then they can collect art as NFTs, and it's going to be this whole other thing. And, we're not going to be left in the dust or forgotten about. There'll always be originals, but it really is this thing that I think we all need to kind of at least remain aware of. I was having a conversation. Well, no, when I was talking with Court, one of the things that I told him, because I broached the subject with Court because I asked him about monoprints, because I know he sells them. And I had said, that I would probably never buy a monoprint, but I'm at least very interested in NFTs after I had seen what Scott had gotten, because I like that. I like the presentation. To me, it's like, if you're going to buy an NFT, I don't want it as something that purely exists digitally that I have to look at in a different format. I love the idea of it being something that I can put on my desk. So, and that's probably the sculptor in me, and it's probably all, just, see everything behind me. I like having things that I can look at. And that was, so I'm, that's how we got into talking about NFTs and monoprints the other day. So you buy back cards and all it's inside is a digital code, right? Well, there could just be it could be just like a card with a QR code on it, right? That you scan and it drops it into your digital wallet. You pay for it with your digital wallet and it goes into your digital portfolio. So yeah, it's an interesting, I don't know. I'm not saying I'm warming up to the idea. I will always be an original art collector, but I'm very intrigued by where this is headed now. So applications are endless. So there you go. So again, it would be a good conversation. And if you figure if we wait a few more months, there'll be more examples that we can look at and talk about. And so I would think maybe sometime between Comic Art Live, which will be the 13th and 14th of November, and the end of the year, we should try to pull something in there. Maybe we should wait till after Christmas. Maybe, I don't know. And Scott, Miguel, maybe we should all kind of kick a timeline on when we might want to do it. Because if we do an NFT conversation, it should be meaningful, and we should have enough examples that we can show and not just be a full negative conversation about it. I'd like to kind of at least look at it in a positive way. And Mickey, I'm with you on that. That's what I told Court. I could never buy a monoprint, but maybe an NFT. So yep. I hear you on that one. All right. So what really got me brother works digitally, and I'm excited. Yeah, exactly. Well, no, that's because in the science fiction fantasy world, there's always been a division in the people who work in, do illustrations for Magic the Gathering and everything. There's for the very long time, half of those creators are strictly digital and the other half are, traditional. And I've always felt bad, because of the focus strictly on the traditional artists, that the digital people have never had an outlet for sales other than prints. And, you go to Gen Con and you're selling mouse pads and whatever else, that they might have there. But I think it's a great opportunity for them to be able to monetize their artwork that way. And again, I go back to that kid in front of me at the mini golf. I mean, if a kid was going to a mini golf in Chardon, Ohio, which is, I've got, the Amish live right down the road from me. So if we're here buying NFT artwork at the age of 18 or 19, then yeah, everything, the whole dynamic's going to shift in a lot of different ways, at least, in their view of what's out there. They may never turn to original art. So it's interesting. It's very interesting. So anyway, I think I'm going to call it a night. Yeah, there you go. I don't know. They may not make it, but how much Bitcoins? Yeah. See, there's lots of different things. Just to grab pieces. Well, and there's remember the example from, I don't remember the artist, but it was the Felix art drop with the dog art, right? Whatever that story was, I can't remember the name of it. But remember, all the interiors were done digitally, but they did covers traditionally because they don't want to lose out on the money. And I think that's this common story that you hear a lot out there, that that at least with the cover images, a lot of artists will still try to work digitally so they can get those dollars. Stray Dogs, thank you, Pat, and Marcus, and ML. Yes, exactly. I was going to say Dog Pound, but I knew that wasn't right. So, but yeah, I mean, so it's been unfortunate for the artists who haven't been able to capitalize on things. So I think that this is it's a good opportunity. And yeah, at the end of the day, I've always felt that NFTs have a place in original art as well, and in different ways. I know I've talked about it, but I do think that the kids, clearly we can already see it today. The kids of tomorrow, the kids of today, who will be the adults of tomorrow, they like that chain of provenance, right? They like to understand chains of ownership, and what I can't see that we aren't going to move into a direction where places like Heritage aren't putting our original art like on the blockchain in a recorded fashion, so that those things are kind of established ahead of time. And I'm not saying they are. I've never talked to them about it, but I can't see how that doesn't become a part of our hobby at some point. At least having the art recorded in a manner out that is transferable. That like the NFT transfers with the artwork because it carries all the past sales information. There will be something blockchain oriented that people will use to catalog the artwork that is sold one day. And so whether that happens in a year or 2 years, it's going to become a part of our hobby, whether we really want it or not. Even though it's not buying digital art, it's like when it's similar in its own weird way to in the movie poster business, they used to do that DNA thing where they would put the DNA on the back of the poster and then it would carry along with it. Well, this is the same thing, but it's a digital piece of DNA that's going to go along with essential sequential, right? It's already there. I mean, we have to get used to it, and you're going to have a way to keep that information and it would transfer with your art sales. It's going to happen, and the kids are going to be expecting it. And think about it, like 20, 30 years from now, those are the kids that are spending the big bucks on art. They're going to want to have that NFT / item, that recording on the blockchain that's transferable to them, because they grew up buying NFTs, from all these different NFT outlets, that of whatever, whether it was trading cards or something else. So it's going to become a part of collectibles one way or another. So we just kind of have to we need to kind of get acclimated to it and understand that it's not a, at least in the way I'm talking about, a negative. It will be a positive, because it will help us, it'll help weed out fakes eventually, because there's so many benefits to having this done when it's done right. When the right approach and the right entity comes along that helps kind of enforce those things and set those rules out for us. So I'm not prepared for it myself, but I know that it's unavoidable and will be an important change that we go through. I'm just reading through Essential Sequential there, Jason. So yeah. But NFT Mark. So at any rate, it'll be a good conversation to have. And Scott and ML, I definitely want to talk with you guys about it, because I'd like to have you guys be a part of it. And again, offer Jason and Felix and Court, would be great to have back on for a chat and just talk about it, and more. But I knew we needed a little bit of a break, because initially there was so much angst about it, and we still have, I think, some issues being resolved out there with the publishers and whatnot. But at any rate, I am going to leave it at that. So I look forward to them being part of prenups. Yeah. I get it. Sorry, just reading. I don't want to miss anything. In art galleries, we've always done that. Maybe not with NFT, but probably not part of it. Yeah, I completely agree, Chuck. That's the idea. Is that I think that how would we not? I mean, how does it not become a part of our hobby with where the prices on artwork is going? I mean, you should be getting a NFT with your Kirby art purchase through Heritage. that's why I don't know who's going to do it. It just makes sense that it would be somebody. An auction house is a great place to start. The reps are a great place to start. That's why why we talked with Felix and Jason the first time about it. Because you need to start somewhere, and so the reps are a perfect spot for that. The publishers too, however they end up getting involved in it. But when it comes to vintage art, it's going to be the auction houses seem like the right entity to kind of get that process going. And but the biggest trick there is it comes to validation and authentication on the artwork that is sold after the fact, because originally Jason can validate any of the art from the artist he reps. It's coming from the original artist, but when you're validating art from people that don't that have passed away, then it becomes a bit trickier. So, and and Jason, I know you've got a new site coming out soon. I'm looking forward to seeing that and working with you on that and getting your inventory synced back with our for sale database, so I can push announcements out to our want list, and that will make everyone happy again. So I'm really looking forward to that. There's no golf course subplot for Carlos, sorry, but anyway, and always, thanks, Miguel. I agree. It's the thing is, I'm really grateful that everybody does hang out and not only listen to what I'm talking about, but carry on the conversations on the side with me that I get to kind of partake in a little bit. I think it's a lot of fun, and I'm glad that we get to do this once a week. And so next week, I don't know. I definitely think I'm going to have a couple people on with me. I want to try to cycle in a few guests to help me out. Like I said, I definitely plan on having somebody help me with the 10 additional picks for the popular art from this current week, and we will work out something that will have a few somebody else ongoing, and I just have to get them to agree to it. So been asking them for a while. So even something like once a month, having them on the show would be a lot of fun if they agree to it. And then I've got some really, I'm not going to say who, but I've got about 3 or 4 really interesting guests that I'm trying to book right now that are going to be great. And I don't care if I can get them in the month of September or if it's October. We'll all want to be able to chat with them once I can get them on here. So I won't tease anything until I've got some dates finalized. I'm trying to get Michael Finn, collector Michael Finn from CAF to do a show. I'm hoping, I believe, 2 Tuesdays from now. I've thrown a few dates at him. He travels a lot, and he's a very, very busy guy, but he's got an interesting book coming out that he's been working on for quite some time. And he's obviously got a phenomenal collection, and we've been just bouncing dates back and forth. Hopefully, by the time I'm done here, he'll have emailed me to let me know. But I hope to have him on the Tuesday after the recap show. So we'll see. I will keep everybody updated on that. Any known celebrity collectors? There are a few, and I have not tried approaching any of them, although there are a couple who I've got connections with that I thought I would try to work out like a joint kind of interview with a few people. So I haven't gone after that yet. That's something, timing wise, that'll probably be early in the 2022 if I'm going to work any of that out. Guys. All right, at any rate, I am going to call it an evening. We're at an hour and 43 minutes here. I've got a few things to do before I can wrap things up tonight, but please tune in on Saturday for the Linsner show. If you know any Linsner collectors that aren't hanging out, that don't know what comic art fans is, like that guy from the video last week, but they're Linsner collectors, let them know about it on Saturday. It's definitely going to be really good. I mean, it's I can't imagine. I've bought art from Joe before, and at cons, and I've never seen that much art. I mean, I think Joe's just been stockpiling, since with the lack of cons, and he didn't even know he had a webcam on his iMac. Believe it or not, he said, who knows how long he's had the thing, didn't know there was a camera on it. So I was the one that helped him realize he had a camera and a mic, and he could actually do the show. So He has not participated in any claim sales, or I host his website. It's a one-pager that just has his email address on it. So it's not like he's gotten a lot of this artwork out in a while. So he's excited about it. And it's going to be a good time. Definitely going to be a good time on Saturday, 1 p.m. Eastern. Tune in. Should be, and it's not a members-only event. It's open to anybody who wants to purchase artwork that day. So there's that. And then don't forget about the Jordan and Mike $500 and under Dueling Dealer special episode on Monday. So book your calendar, get it in there, and don't miss the shows. All right. I am going to call it a night, and I wish you all well. It's nice to be chatting after feeling like I've had so many days off. I'm glad everybody was here. And again, have a great night. And I will see, I hope, most of you on Saturday at 1. All righty. Adios.